You ready to look at the darker side of spirituality? Right, it's been ages since I've done one of these. This has been triggered for two reasons. Number one, one of my friends, Alex from Living Balance, had a little bit of a rant across an FB the other day. And number two, it's the ongoing saga of people commenting on the Alex used to read tarot posts. So this is about spiritual ethics and morality. So let's start with the my belief on ethics and morality. Let's do that part first. So for me, if you are chosen, you're a starseed, etc., then you live by a different code of ethics. Okay, so most people live by societal, governmental, religious, community-based morals and ethics. Now, the problem is that these are so very corrupt and easily bent and moulded to kind of suit the news of the day and what people want to kind of corrupt and pull from it. When you're a starseed or a chosen one, you go by a more ethereal code of morality, and with a little bit of exception, it is very black and white indeed. Now, I'm going to kind of tie this into the spiritual industry. Now, I do have to state, I'm quite happy to sometimes bend the rules, use a bit of spin, if it means that the long term is either about survival or benefit for the greater collective. You know, I'm preach duality. My morality is very black and white. But like I say, if needs be, under certain circumstances, then there can be a little bit of kind of bending of the rules. So case in point, you know, if you had a friend who was in a domestic abuse relationship and they went on the run and then their partner came banging down your door going, where is she? You're quite and sensibly going to say, I have no idea, despite knowing where that person is. So that's the kind of thing I'm kind of talking about when we're talking about bending the rules. So let's deal with the Alex used to read tarot thing. So it's been weeks and weeks and weeks now. I've not done any content about it. As far as I'm concerned, apparently she has deleted the original account. She set up a new one. Fair play. At least she listened to the people. Okay. However, we've still weeks later got people commenting on the post, and aside from the usual nonsense people post on there, a few people have made comments about, like, does it really matter that she was making money during that period? The cards are the cards, that, the message is going to be the same. And, within reason, somebody commented, well, tarot can be changed. Well, yeah, it can, as I always say, it's not fixed. You have free will and choice. However, as I said to this person, it doesn't come down to what the message is. It comes down to the morality of the situation. Somebody taking money off people for a service, or while not believing in it anymore because they're in crisis of faith. That's where the moral line is drawn, and this is where my issue has always been. As I said on the content at the time, I don't give a shit if she's a Christian. It's the morality of the situation. Okay. Now, just to kind of pivot that in a slightly different direction. So my friend Alex from Living Balance did put a post up, and she's a sound healer. She's a fantastic sound healer. She's very qualified. She's got a lot of experience, and where she lives, there's been sound baths and sound healers kind of popping up left, right, and centre. And she's becoming frustrated with the situation. Likewise, I've got another friend who does sound healing, Julia from Gongs by Julia, different area, and she's had a similar situation. The problem is that people are seeing the spiritual industry, and I call it an industry, not a community, because that's what it is, and going, I want a bit of that. I'm going to do that. And as Alex said to me back of bowls over. You know, you're getting these people who are just buying these crystal bowls from Temu and think that they can do it. Don't work like that. It's an art, it's a science. You know, you need to understand resonance and frequencies and all sorts. I'm not learning on it. That's just very basic. So I can completely understand her frustration. You know, I've had a lot of people, you know, being a reader, obviously there's millions of us. They're all over the place, especially on, you know, platforms like TikTok. Now, for me, I've never felt frustrated or intimidated by people and other readers kind of treading on my, you know, my reading style, because my reading style is authentic, and I'm all about authenticity, me being me reading the way I read. And generally speaking, anybody who tries to copy that style, and there have been a few who've tried it along the way, they fall flat on the face. It looks vapid, it looks weak. They might be able to get away with it for a period of time, but you can't fake authenticity, because that's not authenticity, is it? But no, I've had people copy and rip me off in other areas. So, you know, I'm not, you know, hands up, I'm not going to say that I invented the recorded readings by any stretch of the imagination. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one who does it same day guaranteed. But when I started to find some success from that, there were people who had been following me that started offering it. More so with the event stuff. So, you know, I set up, well, the concept for Welcome to the Dark Side that we're running on the 29th of August, that was a kind of idea that I had back in 2023, less so without the music. That came to me later. And that was set up from, it was not long after I'd moved in here. So I think I went to go to the black market. I think it was around about January 2024. No, 2025, sorry. Yeah, January 2025. No, 24? I can't remember now. Yeah, 25, yeah. So that's been set up for a very long time, and all you have to do is go to the FB and check when it was created. Since then, other people have started adding music to their events. You know, the irony of it is, you know, we don't know if it's going to work. It's concept. It's a concept. But yeah, somebody's decided to completely rip it off, holding theirs at the start of August. So in about, I think it's next weekend. You know, the funny thing is with theirs, they wanted me on board with it originally. And I said, no, the venue's not right. It's not right for healers. There's no parking. It's in the city centre. You know, true spiritual people don't like being or reading or healing in city centres. It doesn't work. The energy's not right. The energy of the building wasn't right. Anyway, yeah, they basically used me to get a foot in the door with the venue and then ripped me off. Side note, anybody out there, if anybody has to repeatedly tell you that they can be trusted and they're a good person, no, they're not. Use your pattern recognition. I'm quite happy to admit I can be a right arsehole sometimes. I wouldn't class myself as a good person. You know, yeah, you know, I'm not worried. I was annoyed at the time, especially when they had the audacity when I said to them, you know, if you want to do that, you do that, but, you know, keep it well away from the Welcome to the Dark Side festival. And their attitude was, I suppose I'll allow you to do it. Fuck you. Mine was set up like a whole year in advance of yours. You know, the other thing is I'm running and promoting it myself. Yeah, I'm relying on the venue and their kind of clientele to get tickets, but I'm not just putting on the day event and then leaving the main acts to do all their own promotion and riding off that and sticking my name on the front of it. Fucking pathetic. I mean, I hope your event's successful, because no doubt there'll be people that I like standing there. There's also people I don't like, I'm sure, standing there, including middle-aged men who like to hide in group chats, pretending they're coming to an event, pass on the information to their friends. Oh dear, Chucky. Silly boy. Thought you'd know better. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's frustrating, don't get me wrong. However, what I would say to Alex is that, you know, when you come from a different morality and set of ethics, it will always shine out, okay? It does sometimes take longer. God only knows it's taken me years. of restrictions left, right, and centre. But I'd like to think I'm pushing through that now, and I'd like to think that my recent kind of little spate of success has come due to authenticity and my level of morals and ethics. You know, the sad fact is, even those people who think they're spiritual, outside of the ones who are literally just doing it for the money, but the people who actually think they're spiritual, they still have very loose morals and ethics. They're quite happy to see you as competition, quite happy to rip your ideas off, quite happy to tread on your toes. You know, I preach duality, so I say, you know, push back. You know, don't let people run you out of town. You know, but quality always out every single time. You can fool people for a period of time, but eventually the truth comes out. The light gets shined on the situation, and you know, these thieves, these fakes, these vagabonds, they will get outed. So yeah, spirituality isn't what you think. You know, there's a lot of practitioners, quote unquote, who don't live by a spiritual or ethereal code of morals and ethics. They're just out for themselves. They don't see the issue with people taking money yet not believing in what they're doing, apparently, and that's more common than you'd think. So yes, there you go, little bit of a dirty underbelly of the spiritual industry. That's what it is. Ta-ta.